This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was me having a little bit more fun with the Diamond by Guild Starfire guitar. I think the review of that went out yesterday. Belongs to a pal of mine called David. He's loaned me loads of bits and pieces and guitars and stuff in recent times, and he hasn't been to pick that one up yet, so I thought I'd give it one last outing. And you may have noticed that that bluesy little solo I was playing contained, whisper it, some jazz licks. I say whisper it because the moment I mention the J word on this channel, half the audience head off to go and watch Phil McKnight or something. But it is a style of playing that I enjoy, and you know, I just wanted to share it with you. And more importantly, I wanted to share with you a way of thinking about playing in that style or any other style that was once something I frowned upon. When I first started teaching guitar, it was like, you know, I would have these photocopied sheets of like scales that I would give out to people. Go away and learn those scales. You need to learn your scales. Scales are important. Scales. And then inevitably you'd get some pushback where people would say, well, Jeff Beck never played scales. Jimmy Page never played scales. Eric Clapton, he doesn't talk about scales. Well, the fact is that everybody who plays lead guitar uses scales. You just may not have learned them as scales. You may have learned them as familiar patterns that you learn by trial and error, or seeing cropping up in someone else's licks that you kind of start thinking, oh, that Angus Young solo uses the same kind of fretboard shape as that Eric Clapton solo. Well, you're learning scales by doing that, but it's how you learn them. You learn them by a process of osmosis, I suppose. You know, and that sort of whole attitude of don't bother learning scales was one that I used to really bristle against, but I began to realise that that's exactly how I play over this type of chord sequence. So here's some more information about what's going on in my befuddled bald head as I'm playing that kind of thing.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, the chord sequence that was going on underneath that solo was basically this here, sort of a jazzier take on a 12-bar blues. You'll notice that in the second bar of the second line it goes from the D7 up to that D sharp diminished, kind of echoing the sort of thing that goes on in Need Your Love So Bad, for example. But the real meat and potatoes of this is in the next 4 bars, where you've got A7 going to an F sharp 7, going to a B minor 7, going to an E7, and then back to the A7 again. It's what's known as a 1-6-2-5, because if you take an A major scale, A is the first note of the scale, F sharp is the sixth note of the scale, B is the second note of the scale, and E is the fifth note of the scale. Hence 1-6-2-5. Basically taking the chords which can be built on those notes of the scale. And it's how you play over, especially the F sharp 7, B minor 7, E7 part of it, that is where you can have some fun. Because basically, if you just slim those chords down a little bit and think F sharp 7, B minor and E7, okay, we'll just pretend the B minor 7 is a B minor at the moment. Then what you've got is B minor is the 1 chord, E7 is the 4 chord, and F sharp 7 is the 5 chord of a scale we call B melodic minor, which goes like this. Essentially, it's a B major scale with a flattened third. It's all getting rather complicated, isn't it? But this is where I'm about to show you how you can simplify it. That is probably, unless you're a real jazz egghead, a fairly unfamiliar scale. But those chords that come from it, the F sharp 7, the B minor and the E7, they're familiar chords. Any sort of reasonably experienced classic rock, pop, country, whatever, anybody who's not a jazz egghead who's got some guitar skills can find those chord shapes on the guitar. That's all you've got to do. So, for instance, there's a B minor chord shape, like that. Here's an E 7th chord shape, like this. And maybe you'll bring this G sharp note and duplicate it down there, so you get like that. And then an F sharp, just an F sharp major chord shape. Take the C chord, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, up to here, and like that. So B minor, F sharp 7th or F sharp, and E7, like that. You can easily reference those chord shapes because they are familiar, you know, hopefully. And then just mingle them a little bit. So, for instance, you know, if I'm going to play something like, you know, this, like that. That sounds like a fairly kind of jazzy run, doesn't it? But I'm just playing this part of the F sharp chord. I'm playing this part of the B minor, and I'm playing this part of the E7. So, you know, you get, coming from the A7 chord, just playing regular sort of blues licks. Like that. I'm visualising the B minor, the F sharp 7th, the E7th, like that, and I'm just merging those chord shapes together. And anywhere else you can find to do that on the fretboard, like for instance, you've got a B minor up here, you've got an F sharp 7th here, you've got an E chord here, like this. So, you know, you can sort of merge those together. Like that, just playing those kind of notes from those assorted chord shapes on the second and first strings. So, as I say, it's over these chords here. Just visualise those chords. An F sharp, just don't even think about them as being sevenths. Just think F sharp major, B minor, E major. Think about where you can find those chord shapes just by essentially moving your standard cowboy chord shapes up the neck. Transpose those up until you've got those requisite chords, and then spell out those chords, but merge the notes from the F sharp 7 a little bit into the B minor, merge the B minor notes into the E7, merge the notes from the F sharp into the E, and so on, just so it kind of makes it a little bit less like you're just kind of going up and down a series of chord notes. And, you know, you end up playing that unfamiliar, probably, melodic minor scale. And then before too long, you realise that you just know that scale pattern anyway, because you're visualising it in terms of these chords. So there you go. That's how I do it. It works for me, and it's the kind of thing that I think just stands out a little bit if you've got this kind of chord sequence to play over, which doesn't just occur in this 12-bar blues format, by the way. You know, this is a staple of many, many old jazz standards, and, you know, anything that you might see in something like the Great American Songbook, all the Sinatra, Dean Martin, you know, those kind of songs, Sammy Davis Jr., all that kind of stuff. You find these chord changes all over the place, and if you just use this little trick to play over them, then you can sound like the jazz egghead that you're probably not. Anyway, now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. You know, just basically an unfamiliar scale will probably contain familiar chord shapes. And if you can reference the unfamiliar from a perspective that is familiar, then it makes learning the unfamiliar that little bit easier. That's essentially the point I'm making here. Incidentally, the solo that we kicked off the video with, it's all tabbed out in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with the explanation that you've just seen there, and the jam track I was playing over, and the clip of me playing it. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address. Link is in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive heartfelt thank you to everyone and anyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are also down in the description. If you'd like me to do a video on the sort of chord voicings I was using in that piece at the start of the video, then let me know, because there's some interesting stuff going on there, and I'll happily do a video about it if you'd like to see it. But for now, that's all I've got for you. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative, and perhaps even a little bit entertaining. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we have a beer and a chat. Basically, that's what it's all about. It's beer and chat. It's Friday. It's just a great way to kick off the weekend. And I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.